That meal kept a man alive for 3 years. Number 12 cost less than $1 even today. And number 3 was so desperate. People boiled things you were never meant to eat. But the one that shocks most people, number 18, because millions of Americans ate it and never talk about it again. This is not just food. This is survival. Because during the Great Depression, food wasn't about taste. It was about staying alive one more day. People lost everything. Jobs, homes, dignity. And when money disappeared, creativity took over. This list isn't about recipes. It's about what humans do when they have nothing left. And by the end, you'll look at food very differently. Let's start. Number 25. This was the meal people made when there was nothing left but flour and water. Flour soup. It sounds like a joke. It wasn't. People would take a small handful of flour, mix it with water, and heat it slowly until it thickened into something barely resembling food. No seasoning, no meat, no vegetables, just survival. It mattered because flour was cheap. It lasted a long time, and it filled your stomach, even if just for a little while. Families across rural America relied on it during the worst winters. And when a child asked, "What's for dinner?" this was the answer. That was enough. Number 24. This was the meal people made when bread was the only thing left in the house. Bread and milk. Stale bread soaked in milk until it softened. Sometimes warmed, sometimes not. It mattered because it stretched two cheap ingredients into something that felt like a meal. Milk added calories. Bread added bulk. Together, they became comfort. For many children, this was breakfast, lunch, and dinner, not because they liked it, because they had nothing else. This was not cooking. This was strategy. Number 23. This was the meal people made when meat was a memory. Dandelion salad. Yes, weeds. People would go outside, pick dandelion leaves from fields and roadsides, wash them carefully, and eat them raw or lightly cooked. It mattered because it was free. Completely free. Packed with nutrients. Vitamins. Something their bodies desperately needed. During the 1930s, foraging wasn't a hobby. It was survival. And those yellow flowers? They weren't weeds. They were dinner. Number 22. This was the meal people made when they needed something warm and filling with almost nothing. Potato soup. Just potatoes, water, sometimes a bit of salt. That's it. Potatoes were cheap. They lasted long. And they filled you up. A single pot could feed an entire family. In cities and rural towns alike, this became a staple. Because when you had potatoes, you had hope, even if it was a small one. Number 21. This was the meal people made when scraps were all they had. Garbage stew. It sounds harsh, because it was. Anything left over, vegetable peels, bones, bits of old food went into a pot, slowly cooked for hours, extracting every last bit of flavor, every calorie possible. Nothing was wasted, because wasting food meant risking hunger. Families didn't ask what was in it. They were just grateful there was something. That was enough. Number 20. This was the meal people made when sugar was a luxury. Molasses sandwiches. Bread with a thin spread of molasses. Sweet, sticky, cheap. Molasses was one of the most affordable sweeteners available. And for children, this felt like a treat. Even during hardship, people searched for small moments of joy. A simple sandwich could feel like dessert. Number 19. This was the meal people made when they needed protein, but couldn't afford meat. Peanut butter bread. Just peanut butter on bread. Sometimes that was it. Peanut butter was cheap, packed with protein, and didn't spoil quickly. It kept people going. Workers, children, entire families. Because energy mattered. Strength mattered. And this simple meal delivered both. Number 18. This was the meal people made when hunger pushed them past pride. Squirrel stew. People hunted whatever they could find, and squirrels were everywhere. They'd cook them slowly, turning tough meat into something edible. It mattered because it was protein, real protein, in a time when meat was rare. Millions of Americans ate this, but few ever talked about it again. because survival sometimes comes with silence. This was the meal people made when they needed to stretch one ingredient as far as possible. Cornmeal mush. Cornmeal boiled in water until thick, sometimes sliced and fried later. It was cheap, extremely cheap, and it filled the stomach. For many families, this was a daily meal. Morning and night. It wasn't exciting, but it worked, and that's all that mattered. Number 16. This was the meal people made when leftovers needed to last longer. Bread, pudding, old bread, milk, maybe a little sugar baked together, turning something stale into something new. It mattered because nothing could be wasted. Every crumb had value, and sometimes, even hard times created something comforting. Number 15. This was the meal people made when they had almost no money at all. Ketchup soup. Hot water with ketchup mixed in. That's it. It sounds unbelievable, but it was real because ketchup added flavor, even when there was no real food. This wasn't about nutrition. It was about tricking your body into feeling fed. This was not food. This was survival. Now here's what no one tells you. Hunger changes the way you think. It lowers your standards. It rewires your brain. Things that seem impossible today become normal when you have no choice. And that's what this list really shows. Not just what people ate, but what they were willing to accept. Let's keep going. Number 14. This was the meal people made when they needed something that lasted. Beans and nothing else. Just beans. Boiled. Sometimes salted. Beans were cheap, full of protein, and could last for months. They became a lifeline. Entire communities relied on them because when everything else disappeared, beans stayed. This was the meal people made when they needed to replace meat entirely. Mock meatloaf, made from oats, breadcrumbs, maybe beans, formed into something that looked like meat, but wasn't. It mattered because people missed normal life. They missed the feeling of real meals, so they recreated them with whatever they had. Because sometimes survival is also about pretending things are okay. Number 12. This was the meal people made when they had less than $1. Onion sandwiches. Raw onions between slices of bread. Sharp, strong, filling. Onions were cheap, and they added flavor to otherwise bland meals. It wasn't pleasant, but it worked, and sometimes working was enough. Number 11. This was the meal people made when they had access to farms, but no money. Milk and crackers. Simple, plain, but effective. It provided calories and a sense of normalcy, because even in hard times, people try to hold on to routine. Breakfast still mattered, even if it looked different.